Republican National Committee spokeswoman Liz Harrington. Liz, great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Liz, I'm just not buying this story from The Atlantic. We've seen this type of anonymous sources come out with all these crazy stories against the president, and all it does is divide our country.
It's really a disgrace. It's not journalism. They have lost all shred of any integrity they had left, printing lies that were easily refutable when you had an email that showed that the event at that cemetery was canceled because of the weather, when you have dozens of on-the-record, high-ranking officials who were actually there denying it. This is just a flat-out lie. And it's really disgusting, and it shows their desperation, that they don't care about getting to the bottom of a story. They don't care about the truth. All they care about is maligning and smearing our commander-in-chief. And it's really disgraceful, especially when you look at this administration's record when it comes to supporting our troops, when it comes to a peace through strength foreign policy that actually wants to win overseas, not just have endless wars. This president, that's why he's coming under attack, because he's actually following through on the promises he's made, and because he cares deeply about our men and women who come and serve and protect the rest of us and protect our great country. He cares about not putting them into harm's way, and he's not going to do it lightly. And that's why he's coming under attack, because the same old swamp creatures from the same old decades past, they love a never-ending war. They love America just getting overseas and being entangled for far too long. Well, those days are over, and President Trump has followed through on his promises, and that's why he's really coming under attack.
Yeah, and even former National Security Advisor John Bolton is defending President Trump, and as we know, he is no fan of President Trump these days. And as I said, I think this hurts morale among the military. It's just these anonymous sources. Why don't they come out? Why don't they put their name out there? And I heard as they're afraid that people are going to go after them on Twitter.
Yeah, they certainly aren't brave enough to serve our country. They're cowards that hide under anonymity. It's absolutely appalling and disgusting that there's not any proof of this story. And then they say, oh, well, we confirmed this story. No, they didn't. The same lying hack who is a coward that won't put their name to their lies just spread the same lies to a different so-called journalist. This is not reporting. This is something that is just designed to divide people and to hurt this president. You know, it's the same playbook. In 2016, they had the dossier. Well, the media was so arrogant, they didn't think President Trump had a chance of winning, so they didn't think it was necessary to print the disgusting lies in the dossier. Well, now they'll just print whatever, no matter how appalling, no matter how disgusting, no matter how disconnected from the truth. They'll do anything to try to stop this president. Why? Because he's actually fighting for Americans who have been left behind. He's actually putting our country first. He's not beholden to the same elite ruling class that have entangled us overseas and who have let our jobs go across to other nations for decades. Well, those days are over, foreign and domestically, and this president will continue to fight for all Americans. And no, they've lost all credibility. No one's going to believe their latest lie that they try to take down this president with. It hasn't worked for 4 years, and it's not going to work in the next 4 years either.
Yeah, Liz, I've worked in newsrooms over the years, worked in politics as well, and I just couldn't imagine a newsroom editor just giving the green light on this story. The editorial process that goes into it, it just seems so unethical. And now we have the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic who says this is the tip of the iceberg and we can expect a lot more.
It is unbelievable that they're just so blatant about this. And they're admitting basically that this story's not true. You have other writers for The Atlantic saying that she's going to change her story based on political views of her people that she's interacted with. This is outrageous. This is so unethical, as you said. And I worked in journalism, too, before I worked for the RNC, and we would have never printed something without corroborating evidence. We would have never printed just wild allegations without people going on the record and having to put a name behind their smears. And that's all that this is. These are smears. These are outrageous lies. And the good news is nobody believes them anymore because they've been lying about this president for years now. They've done everything they could to try to take him down. They don't have another playbook. I mean, remember, we were just a couple weeks ago, they've already moved on to this latest smear. It was all about missing, disappearing mailboxes and a conspiracy theory about the mail. All that the Democrats and their partners, their corrupt allies in the media have are lies and conspiracy theories. That's all they have, and it's not going to work at the ballot box.
Yeah, and these journalists seem to be rewarded for these types of stories, as we see. And we see Biden even campaigning on this now. I guess they're going to spend some $47 million on campaign ads using this Atlantic story. That's a lot of money to put into this. And so you can't help but think the timing's pretty convenient with the election just around the corner.
This is clearly political, and talk about collusion, another false smear that never had any evidence backing it up. There were ads almost immediately when this story dropped, which was a completely false story. They have the accompanying ads all ready to go. That's collusion for you, and that's corruption for you. But they don't have anything else, and Americans aren't going to buy this. They know this president has supported our military. He loves our vets. They've seen him. They've seen him at the ceremonies for D-Day with our great war heroes, the greatest generation, how this president loves our troops and does everything he can to get them out of harm's way and give them the resources they need. And also, by the way, changing the rules of engagement to let them do their jobs. That's why we defeated the ISIS caliphate so quickly. What Obama and Biden did not do, because we changed the rules of engagement, and President Trump followed through on his promises and gave our great war fighters the resources and abilities they needed to be able to win. And that's exactly what we did with the ISIS caliphate. So look, Americans have seen this president's record. No amount of lies and smears and political ads and political collusion they have with the Democrat-run media is going to change the record and going to change who this man is. This president is a great commander-in-chief, and he puts all Americans first, certainly our great servicemen and women.
Yeah, there's certainly a stark difference between how the Trump administration treats the military and how President Trump treats the military versus Obama's time. You think about the coffee cup salute. You think about him depleting the military funds, and also just him going around doing the world tour apologizing for our country. And that definitely hurt morale. Now, I want to shift gears here a little bit. President Trump, according to Bloomberg, I don't know if this is true or not because it's from Bloomberg, but they're saying that there was discussion of President Trump possibly contributing $100 million of his own money for his re-election campaign. Have you heard anything about this? And is this something the RNC would support?
Well, the president spoke to this issue before he went down to Florida today, and he said he would spend whatever it takes if he needs it, but he doesn't think it's going to be necessary. So I think this is another fake news report. We've been breaking records with the RNC and the Trump campaign. We have tremendous support on the ground. And even more importantly, we have the energy and enthusiasm. We have a unified party that is working day in and day out to reelect this president. We know what's at stake in this election. It's so important. America, our very country, is on the line this election. And so we have over 2 million volunteers now. We're knocking on 1 million doors a week. We're out in the field. We're organizing and we're campaigning and we're meeting directly with Americans, talking about the issues that they care about. And so we're very confident that we won't need to tap into President Trump's account like he did in 2016 when he was vastly outspent and still won handedly.
Yeah, and obviously President Trump has so much support from the RNC. And I believe back in 2016, he'd poured in $66 million of his own money. So anyways, we're going to have to leave it here, Liz. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up next, shocking video of Black Lives Matter agitators terrorizing diners in Pittsburgh.